Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Today's a lovely day to be out in the garden, but we've promised you more bonus content during the lockdown, so I'm inside and I'm going to be going through what is actually quite an exciting puzzle, in the sense that this puzzle is by Ashish Kumar. It is the first in a series of 4 linked Sudokus, and they're going to make up our bonus content over today in the next 3 days. The point of the circles in the grid is that they carry on to the next grid and we'll use them in that. So basically, Ashish, who's a great Indian compiler, has sent us 4 puzzles, and I've got the grids for those, but I'm only going to be using the first of those grids today. They're not classic Sudoku, although they're a quite light variant in a way. The grey cells here have to be even numbers. That's the whole thing. Nothing out. There's no negative constraints, but any grey cell has to be an even number. As I say, ignore the circles for now. And I'm going to just obviously provide it to you in our software, so that's below the video. And you can have a go at the puzzle yourself before watching the solve as usual. And I'll be talking through the solve as I go. Just before I start, I'm going to point out that it's beautifully constructed, this. I mean, however it works, we've got completely symmetrical arrangement of grey cells, symmetrical disposition of digits. I even kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as this kind of pyramid at the top, although, oh no, I mean, given that it's an even Sudoku, that's not a free choice entirely for the compiler. So that's a very neat bit of constructing, in my opinion. Let's see how it's solved. Sometimes that can be at the expense of the solution, but knowing Ashish, I suspect that won't be the case here. So, with all that said, let's get cracking. And now we've got some nice 1s playing into the middle box immediately, so we can fill in a 1 there. And across the middle we've got these 7s as well, and they're quite useful when combined with this 7. They rule out all of these cells effectively, given the place digit of 9 as well. So this must be the 7 in box 6. Now, given that these grey cells are even, the 7 at the bottom must be in one of those 2. And actually, these 2 bottom squares, boxes with grey digits in, are very interesting because they both contain an even digit. So the other 3 in their box must be the other 3 even digits. So that one can't be 4, that one can't be 8, that one can't be 6. So it's a little triple of 4, 6, 8. Over here, well, it's 2, 4 and 8. This one is seeing a 2 and an 8. So we can fill that in straight away as a 4. And then we've got a 2, 8 pair the other side, which I can't disambiguate. But now this is good, because with this 4, actually we didn't need it. When we look at this cell, which is also even, and it can see 2, 4 and 6, so we know it must be 8. And across the top we've got 8, 4 and 6, so this one must be 2. This 4 has resolved this triple over here. Look, now we can place that 4 or 6 as a 6, and that gives us the 8 and 4 as well. So it's very neatly being arranged. That 8 has sorted out the 2 and 8 pair, and we've effectively got quite a lot of the even squares done now. It might even be possible to finish them all. That one must be 4 because it can see 2 and 6 in the column and 8 in the box. This one is still 2 or 6 at the moment. How about here? Yes, this must be 6. 2 in the box, 4 in the row, 8 in the column. This one now must be 8. We've got 6 and 2 in the box, 4 in the column. That's 8. The one over here, we still don't know actually whether that's 2 or 6. But effectively, we can now forget. You know, we've got this 2 or 6, but apart from that, we can forget the constraint now that we've got these numbers in the grid and just solve this as a classic. So 4 is ruling out those 2. The 4s here are ruling out that and that. This one must be 4. What else? 2 in row 8 must be here. That's the only position left. That's going to give us both, look, this, oh yeah, 4 and 4 in columns 4 and 5. The 4 in column 6 must be in the middle box. That's putting 2 there and an 8-6 pair for the rest of that. This is now a naked single, 1, 6, 8, 2, 4, 5 in the column, 3, 7 in the row. We've got a pair that must be 3 and 7. Oh no, in fact this one must be 7 because there's a 3 in its box. 74, 8, 3, right, 9 and 6 in column 4. Actually, this puzzle is looking fairly straightforward, thank goodness. 1, 3, 5, okay, so 2 and 8 up here. 1 and 7, so the 7 is at the top because of that 7. Now we've got this last even square resolved. 6, 5, 3, 8, 4. So a 7 in one of the bottom 2. I'm just going to put that in corner notation, and a 2 in one of those 2. One of these is a 3. And one of these is a 5, but these aren't giving themselves away. Okay, the 5's quite interesting. 5 must be in either column 1 or 3 in that box. In this box 2, 5, sorry, in column 7 or 9. 5 must also be in column 7 or 9 in this box. So 5 in this box must be in column 8. So it's got to be one of those 2. And that's quite interesting because it's either got to be in row 9 or row 7, just as it is in box 8. So the 5 over here is in one of those 2, in row 8. 5, 2, 7, 4. Might be some naked singles around now. Oh look, 6 and 6 are very clear indicators of a 6 in row 5, column 2, that sorts out the 8, 6 in the middle. 5 and 3, yes, look, that 3 is deciding the rest of the row 5. This is pretty straightforward. I mean, I hope you've enjoyed solving this because it's not too taxing. So I think maybe this series will get more taxing as we go along. We heard a very good report of the solving of it by Tiet Vunk, who enjoyed it, and he's an absolute expert, so that's quite encouraging. 3 and 4 here. 2 in column 1 must now be up at the top. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, I mean, nothing too much to trouble us here, I would say, in this puzzle, but very neat setup that is certainly praiseworthy on its own. And as I say, nothing too much to trouble us. Just looking for where the next move is and not quite seeing it yet. One of those is 7, one of those is 5. We've got... Right, this isn't 5 anymore because of that 5. So we can get rid of the 5 from that cell and put 5 in for sure there. 5, 7, 3 is one of those. And still not quite resolved. I mean, we're right near the finish now, but not there. Three must be in one of those 2 cells because of the 3 is above. Oh, it's interesting now. I mean, this might be one of those rare puzzles where there is a bit of a sting right in the tail. 9 is in one of those 2. 4, 8, 2, 3, 6. Right, this one has to be 1 or 7, as does this, because they both have 9 and 5 in their column. And therefore, with 1 and 7 ruled out of this row, this has to be a 9, and I think that'll do it now. We've got a 3-9 pair up there, so that's a 1. Interesting little finish. I don't know if that was absolutely necessary to spot that little combination, but It was a surprising double so late in a puzzle. You don't normally see that. That 1 sorts out the 5-1 pair here. That gives us a 5-3 pair. I think this has been a fairly straightforward start. I mean, maybe apart from that tiny little finish at the end there. And if you didn't see the logic immediately with the even cells down here, the whole puzzle could take quite a bit longer. So thanks to Ashish, interesting start, and we'll be carrying these circled numbers into the next grid next time, and seeing what we have for tomorrow's bonus content. Looking forward to the whole set, which will indeed build up to some sort of finish on day 4. And I will leave you with that and wish you a very good day. I hope everybody out there stays safe, and thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye.